Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new session of HPP Innovation Week, the benchmark event of high-pressure processing technology for the food and beverage industry. I'm Alex Blanco, Sales Director at Hyperbaric. In the next few minutes, we are going to enjoy an interesting session with the title Running an Efficient HPP System Maintenance and Operation. I would like to introduce you first the speakers of the session today. They are Carlos Jaramillo, After Sales Manager at Hyperbaric USA Corporation, Mike Durbin, Operation Manager at Evolution Fresh in the US, and Miguel Hernando, Director of Operation at Hyperbaric Spain. Thank you all for your time and welcome. All right, let me go over the agenda for the session. First, we will have Carlos explaining some important guidelines about maintenance in a Hyperbaric HPP unit, as well as some features regarding service support from our Hyperbaric team. Then Mike will give us a real case from Evolution Fresh about how to run in an efficient way a plant with HPP units. And to finalize, Miguel will talk about the future and how Industry 4.0 is applied in the different processes here at Hyperbaric and in our HPP equipment. Just let me remind that all attendees have an open chat where you can send us all the questions. We'll try to go over as much as possible during the session at the very end of it. But in any case, all questions will be answered during the following days. All right, guys, so let's get started. Let's listen first to Carlos Jaramillo. He's our after-sales manager in North America with a 6-year career at Hyperbaric, working first as an after-sales technician. He was promoted to be our after-sales manager back in 2019 for our North American division. Carlos owns a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering, and he will start now with his part. Okay, welcome, Carlos, and all yours.
Hi, everyone. Can you confirm, Alex, if you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's a pleasure to be here today presenting with all of you. So let's go with my topic. I would like to say first that this is just my opinion based on my experience working at the after sales team for almost 6 years. So let's go with this. Running an efficient HPP system maintenance operation. So if you invest in an HPP machine, why wouldn't you take care of it? So if you work close to an HPP machine, you may know the cost of having such as high quality and high quality technology at your facility. This is not because Hyperbaric or HPP companies are expensive. This is because there is no other equipment in the world that can reach 6 times more pressure than the pressure you would feel in the deepest part of the ocean. So this involves high quality materials, a lot of safeties, and a high reliability. So let's go with the maintenance. Maintenance is as important as production. So this is the most important dilemma in every company, I think. It's funny when a customer calls me because production department doesn't allow them to stop the machine, and they ask me if they can continue running with the problem and it's good to go and it's safe to continue running the machine with the problem that they are having. So don't call me again with this question because my answer is always the same. So I recommend you always to solve the problem as soon as possible and on time to prevent a minor problem to become a major one. So obviously I understand the need of production, and I think it's the most important part that the product needs to be processed on time and the customers needs to get the product on time. But if the machine is not running properly, you will experience a lot of unexpected downtime, and you will be suffering a lot of problems in the machine. So here are some points in regards to this topic. So do you follow a preventive maintenance plan? A preventive maintenance plan, as you know, is very important to prevent unexpected downtimes. So another one, do you have an appropriate spare part stock? If you have a good spare part stock, you will prevent downtime in the machine, and you will also avoid high prices on rush shipments. Next one, do you monitor and record the machine parameters? In my opinion, it's really important to monitor the machine parameters because For example, if you see that one day the machine is running slower than the day before, this is because you are starting to have one problem somewhere. You need to start looking where is the problem to prevent that minor problem to become a major one. And finally, what is your action plan when an alarm or problem comes up? So do you reset and rearm the machine and continue running either way? Or you look at the problem, you try to fix it on time? There is a high difference in costs if you do one or the other. So I think it's really important to have a high-level maintenance team. If you want to, here. If you want to have the machine running in good condition and have a high performance in the machine, I think this is a very important part. So first point that I consider is important is to train your team. This would increase the motivation in the team. This would reduce the downtime in the machine. You will have an effective use of resources at your company, and the team will be following good practices during working in the machine. Second one, actions taken in time. So this will allow you to reduce maintenance costs, improve the machine performance, and avoid unexpected downtime. So it's another point that is really important. Third point I consider is important is procedures are followed. So this will, if the technician follow the procedures, you will avoid a lot of problems, because this is not a common equipment. You need to follow the instruction, you need to follow the procedures to install the parts. So this will allow you to reduce the maintenance costs also, and you will avoid losing warranties. If you are installing the parts in the correct way, you can ask for warranty if something is lasting less than expected or something like that. But if you are not following the procedures, well, you need to change your mind and follow the procedures to avoid some problems. So finally, you will have a high efficiency level, production increment, machine downtime reduction, and customers loyalty, because the customers will be getting the product on time every time. You will avoid an unexpected situation and delays on the products processing. So these are the most important points. I think the four of them are related one to the other. Next one, is the machine processing the product properly? So we have three main ways to confirm that the machine is processing the product properly. So the first one would be the SCADA computer. The SCADA computer is the one that records all the cycle data, all the events, the alarms, the warnings, the times in the machine, and for sure is your proof to confirm that the product has been processed properly in the machine. So you will get the report with your cycles, and you can see if the cycle was okay or not. Then we have the high pressure transducers. High pressure transducers, I think, are the most important components talking about processing the product, because they measure the pressure in the vessel. So if they are not reading fine, you will get wrong readings in the pressure of the vessel. So that's the reason why we recommend periodical inspection on these components, so you can check if they are still reading fine. And finally, we have a good software in the machines. We have currently Allen Bradley PLC with the internal counter. I think is the best for our application. So this is another important point in the machine. Next one, what's our contribution to the customer's efficiency from hyperbaric? So we have two important departments that are constantly in contact with the customer. We have the 24/7 after sales team, and we have the spare parts service department. So let's go with the first one, after sales service. So if you join the Hyperbaric family, you will have a 24/7 after sales service at no cost for you. You can call whenever you want, whenever you need help, and you will get one engineer at the other end of the line helping you with the problem. We have connection to all the machines, and we can monitor the parameters in the machine, so we can help you in the best way, because we'll be seeing the same that you are seeing. So this is really important to resolve in the quickest way the problems of the customers. And then we are a proactive service. We do not just help you to solve the problem, we also recommend you something to prevent the problem to happen again. A spare parts service. So our goal here is to ship any part to anywhere in the world in less than 24 hours. How can we do that? We have 2 warehouses in the world. We have in Spain, in United States, Mexico, and New Zealand. With this, we try to prevent all the unexpected downtime in the customers and help them with this matter. Then we designed almost 100% parts of the HPP, so we have a high quality parts. And then we are continuously improving the parts in the HPP to get longer lifespan on the components and reduce maintenance costs at the customers. Finally, I think this is the most important application for the customers, our hyperbaric portal. So with this portal, basically you can do almost everything. You can order parts in real time. You don't need to send an email to spares or call spares to order a part. You can place your order through the portal. You can check all the technical information and share it with your team, maintenance videos, technical instructions, common queries, everything like that. So you have almost everything here. So you don't need to call Hyperbaric or send an email. And this is really nice for the customer because they don't lose time contacting Hyperbaric and asking for the instruction. They can go just through the portal and get whatever they need. And I would like to say that this year we have won awards, Organization of the Year in regards to the after-sales service and spare parts service given by the Business Intelligence Group. So also a really important award for Hyperbaric and the service team and the spare parts team. And finally, I would like to finish the presentation with a poster that is in most of the maintenance rooms in the wall. So if you don't schedule time for your maintenance, your equipment will schedule it for you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Carlos. Really a true fact, the last poster you showed to us. All right, let's move on now this time to Irving. Evolution Fresh was born in 1995 with a mission of giving more people access to the most delicious, nutritious juice. In 2010, Evolution Fresh invested in high-pressure processing, making it possible for them to sell their juice outside of California. Starbucks acquired Evolution Fresh in 2011, an investment in making wellness more accessible for all. In 2013, Evolution Fresh opened a one-of-a-kind juicery in North America in Rancho Cucamonga, California, allowing Evolution Fresh to send juices to the entire US. Mike is an 11-year partner of Starbucks that has been in the Evolution Fresh business for the last 9 years. Mike is responsible for all the manufacturing operations, which includes juice extraction of raw fruits and vegetables, blending, filling, HPP, and packaging. Also, he is responsible for engineering and capital improvements plans of the facility. Mike has a dual Bachelor's of Science for Computer and Electrical Engineering, with also certifications in the following: Six Sigma Green Belt, True Advisor, has a plan, internal auditing, and Green Apron. All right, Mike, it's your time. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me to the HPP Innovation Week this year.
We're very welcome. We are very welcome. All yours. Thank you.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get started. So I want to talk a little bit about running an efficient HPP operation at Evolution Fresh. So our agenda for today, we're going to have a little bit of an overview of Evolution Fresh. We're going to talk about our training programs, monitoring of performance, preventative maintenance, some advanced analysis and techniques that you can use, and then we'll wrap it up. So at Evolution Fresh, we have 5 hyperbaric H420 machines that we are running 24 hours a day, typically 5 days a week. There might be some holidays in there. We have about 4 operators per shift running the machines, and we have maintenance staffing covering all the shifts. So our three operations include maintenance, QA. We are actually bringing in fresh fruits and vegetables, and we're pressing them, extracting them, turning them into juice, making our blends. I've got some of our juices here pictured to the side, Superfruit Greens and Green Devotion. Basically, we're making these blends, we're bottling them, and then we're running them through our HPP equipment. So we're responsible for more than just taking care of our HPPs, but we have maintenance staff that's taking care of our entire facility. So training. I believe training is one of the most foundational things about running an efficient HPP operation. Our HPP operators undergo an extensive training regime prior to operating a machine on their own. They learn about safety on the machine for lockout, tagout, chemical handling, and ergonomics. Quality, it's important since HPP is part of our HACCP plan. It's a critical control point for us that they're trained extensively on that. GMPs, since this is an FDA regulated facility, and allergen controls. They also learn from an operations perspective the layout of the room, the methods, which are different processing pressures and times for different products. And then there's a certification quiz to kind of wrap it all up. And then something really important here at Evolution Fresh is our continuous improvement culture. And so we implemented 5S in our area, and sanitation standards are also very important. When it comes to the maintenance mechanics, they are also trained extensively on those things that the operators are trained on, but then there's an entire additional skill set that needs to be acquired for them. They need to learn how to rebuild discharge valves, check valves, how to install these things. The intensifiers, there's a lot of different components on those, such as high pressure seals, oil filters, hydraulic caps, and the plungers. All these things are important to making sure that the machines are running efficiently. The wedges, the plugs, the vessels, all these need to be aligned so that the machines stay up and running. Wheels occasionally need rebuilt, and other adjustments need to be made. Carlos had spoken a little bit about the high pressure transducers, so we also do regular calibrations on those as well, about every 3 months. So after you have your team trained up and you're running your HPPs, it's really important to monitor for performance. So in order to know how your operation is doing, you got to put some tools in place to measure how you're doing. A few tools that we use here is OEE, or overall equipment effectiveness. This number will tell you all in how you are doing, what with changeovers, downtime, and other inefficiencies in your operation. So I have an example here to the side of one of our HPPs. Another important thing, and this is what we started with here at Evolution Fresh, was how many cycles did we run, and were they good cycles or bad cycles? So here you can see on this particular day that we ran 452 cycles in a 24-hour period, and of those we had 2 red screens or failed cycles. That's a pretty good day, but it wasn't always like that. There were days where we would have, multiple red screens on all the HPPs. Another thing that we've just started looking into and benchmarking is our time to reach target pressure. And this time identifies where there may be needed maintenance to improve the time that the machine takes to reach that set point. So I'll talk a little bit more in depth on that later. So another part of monitoring for performance is the visual inspections. You need to be around the machines and paying attention to the things that you're seeing. So now these are more reactive type of maintenance techniques, but also need to be part of your program. So the operators or maintenance staff should be walking around the intensifiers, looking for leaks, checking gauges, and making sure everything's running right. Another thing that you can do if you have a continuous improvement culture or you're trying to move towards that is a TPM system, or total productive maintenance. This is a way for you to quickly identify if you have like an oil leak or water leaks. If you keep everything clean, when something shows up like an oil drip or water, it's easy to quickly identify that and get to the problem. So preventative maintenance. I really like the poster that Carlos had at the end there about if you don't schedule your downtime, your machine's going to schedule it for you. So our preventative maintenance program is built into our production schedule. So we will communicate out, on a shift-to-shift basis if we have a PM coming up for the day or for that week, and what kind of PM it is. Maybe it's a high pressure weekly, maybe it's a bi-weekly, or maybe it's a larger PM, like a 5, 10, 15, 20K PM. The daily PMs are very basic and can be performed by well-trained operators. And this would also be in line with the TPM program that you may want to implement. All of the PMs are critical, and they should be factored into your factory's overall capacity so that the HPP machines are not neglected. What I mean here is you don't want to think that you can run 24/7 without ever shutting down your machine and plan for that to be your capacity. You really have to build that downtime into your capacity modeling and make sure you have the right amount of equipment for your operation. And PMs are an investment in your equipment, but they pay dividends. So basically, if we're not investing in our equipment and constantly reinvesting in our equipment, it's gonna cost us. But if we take that little time up front with our preventative maintenance program, it really makes the machines run well, and it also helps the operation. There's also a lot of things that need to be done offline. Shop rebuilds, like the check valves, we make sure that those are ready to go, and so that they can be installed offline. Having the parts ready, so having an MRO or maintenance operating inventory of spare parts, making sure that you have everything you need, pipes and tees, and there so many components. So in our shop, we have places where we can mount and rebuild intensifier pumps offline, or we can rebuild the check valves. We have kits set up for that, and then we have bins to sort things that are ready or might need inspected or rebuilt, just to keep the place clean and organized. So a little bit about advanced analysis. So after you have your operation up and running, and you feel like everything's smooth, there's always things that you can do to get better. So what we started doing is looking into our time to increase to our pressure set points. We use data gathered over several months, and we processed that in some statistical software, and started looking at our low-hanging fruit and where we could really put our maintenance resources to make our machines run more efficiently. We use control charts, eye charts, box plots. All these are different statistical measurement tools, and that helps us really prioritize what we need to do. So in conclusion, all in all, it's no small undertaking running a large HPP operation like we have at Evolution Fresh, but it can be done with the right planning and resourcing. You want to make sure you prioritize your training, make sure your staff has the knowledge they need to operate and maintain the equipment safely and with the heightened sense of quality. Like I said, for us, it's a CCP, a critical control point, so it's very important. You want to make sure you're monitoring your performance using industry standards like KPIs like OEE. And you want to create robust preventative maintenance programs to keep your equipment in top operating condition. And then as you get all that set up, you may want to look at continuous improvement tools such as TPM, or doing A3s and analyzing some statistics to take your operation to the next level. So that's all I have for you today.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you for sharing your past experience with running a large HPP unit.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, so we'll continue to move forward. We're going to meet in third place Miguel Hernando from Hyperbaric. Miguel is an industrial mechanical engineer from the University of Burgos, in Spain, an AMP program from the IE Business School of Madrid. He has been Chief Operation Officer at Hyperbaric since January 2020, and he joined the company back in 2002. During these almost 20 years, he has held different positions in the company, and his current position, he plays a key role in the implementation of 4.0 industry advancements and coordinates all activities related to the industrial area, like production engineering, procurement and purchasing, production, and after sales. Okay, thank you, Miguel, for joining us today, and the time is yours.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, I'm going to share my presentation. Please, can you confirm that everything is fine?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Alex, for the introduction, and thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. The main goal of my presentation is to share with all of you what we believe is the future of our machines and our customer services for the next 10 years. Carlos and Mike has explained all the details and tricks for a perfect HPP equipment maintenance, but it's clear that the future awaits a human-machine interaction much more different. First of all, allow me, I would like to remember the industrial situation of some, maybe most of the companies in 2010. I guess it was something similar to what we are watching in the next video. Send it. Okay, however, let's think now on the situation in 2020. A complete different situation, right? Maybe something close to this.
Pistä oikein helppo, lopussa yli niimaa, hyppään, 7, hyppy 5, oikein täysin, 7, pikkuhyppy 3, vasen eri mene, lopussa yli ja oikein.
What do you think? We have noticed an evolution to a much more unpredictable scenario. We can say that some years ago, the fine-tuning, the precision, the continuous improvement guide our companies, where nowadays, much more flexibility is required to face the current continuous changes we are facing. Do you agree with me that maybe attitude matters more than technique? We currently live in a chaotic environment where we do not know what will happen. Therefore, you cannot control what is taking place. You cannot continue doing the same thing you did before. You have to be evolving every single day. Staying in a vegetative state means taking a great risk. On the contrary, the crisis can be seized as an opportunity to do some things that might not have been done. This is where the new Industry 4.0 comes into play. Thus, the term Industry 4.0 itself is defined as the introduction of the digital technologies in the productivity process of the industry. In other words, the inherent digital transformation. The emergence of the fourth industrial revolution, as it has been called, has led companies in the industrial sector to digitize the production processes, using the latest advances such as artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, or big data, among many others. Hyperbaric hasn't stayed behind this revolution and is fully convinced that is the way forward. Okay, nice picture. This is normal to feel somewhat lost at the beginning of this path and have a certain feeling of digital chaos. But here I bring you a first tip. Just relax a little before all this digital drift and face it naturally as a huge opportunity for improvement. Maybe do you share this idea with me? At Hyperbaric, we are working on these directions. Here are some examples of the Industry 4.0 and these technologies that are already a reality in our machines or are on the way to. First of all, augmented reality has brought a revolution on several levels: maintenance, training, marketing, and digital twins. I am pretty sure that in this period of pandemic, you have had problems developing all your products on these areas. Here, augmented reality can offer really helpful solutions. At Hyperbaric, for example, it has helped a lot in recent months in supporting clients during commissioning or maintenance visit in places where, due to pandemic, it was not possible to travel. Let me share this video with you.
With the Remote Assist service from Hyperbaric, we offer a qualitative leap in the support service to our customers. We anticipate the future with our mixed reality devices, and we help technical teams to adapt to different scenarios in their daily maintenance operations. Our augmented reality video call service allows you to collaborate and solve problems in a shared mixed reality environment, being in different physical locations. When a field technician is working on a machine and encounters a complex incident, he will have the real help of a hyperbaric after-sales service specialist, thanks to our augmented reality devices. This remote service can be performed hundreds of kilometers away. Through the device, in a moment, they can share what they see and evaluate the situation, so as to work collaboratively in the resolution of the incidents. We provide assistance at work with step-by-step instructions, right where maintenance is performed. Companies will be able to resolve their incidents faster and in real time, taking advantage of the knowledge of our after-sales service engineers. Hyperbaric, more connected, more informed, and more efficient.
Okay, let's talk about edge computing. Well, edge computing is about bringing processing power as close as possible to where the data is being generated. In other words, it consists of bringing the cloud closer to the user, to the very edge of the network. Combining this technology with machine learning algorithms, it allows us to process data generated by a local device, such as the PLC of our machines, and make decisions in real time in a matter of milliseconds. In short, transfer thousands of data into useful information in real time. Here you can see a small sample that will collect something similar to what our engineers are developing during these days, and that will be the future of our units. Okay, regarding big data, this is being a solid base from which to build the reality of the preventive maintenance. At Hyperbaric, we have had a database of operating parameters of our HPP machines, which has allowed to interrelate them and create algorithms to predict future behavior. For example, when will be the optimal moment for replacing an hydraulic pump, or when I have to plan my next plat alignment. Another aspect that is currently being developed is the way to improve the interface of the machine. Traditionally, we are used to machines with a lot of information, like the margin of the left, for sure. But the future awaits us another type of interaction with the different devices, much more detailed, but at the same time, much more intuitive. Okay, auto-diagnosis. Those of you who are directly involved in the maintenance of the machine might tell me, okay, this is all very good, but what happens when the machine stops and we need to detect the cause as soon as possible? Well, this is a very interesting question, All of the technologies related to data capture and processing can also help us in these repairs. At Hyperbaric, we are working on a special alarm cell diagnosis mode in which the equipment will be able to show the user the exact situation of the machine, parameters out of range, the root causes of these deviations, etc. This will undoubtedly mean a before and after in the way of diagnosis incident. And this will be ready very, very soon. Okay, in this new Industry 4.0, energy efficiency will be one of the key factors, since it represents one of the great competitive values between companies. Those that best adapt to the market trends linked to sustainability will have more possibilities to continue growing and advancing. Hyperbaric is no stranger to this reality, and its engineering team is constantly working on new, much more reliable and efficient electromechanical systems. High-efficiency electrical motors, consumption control devices, software with a focus on energy efficiency, or more innovative examples such as special eco mode of our machines in which the optimization of resources prioritizes. Last but not least, I want to emphasize that all this does not make sense without continuing with the strategic line that Hyperbaric has following since the beginning, to always focus on the reliability of its machines. All protocols and internal communication within the company have their purpose in a continuous improvement of the units, translated into a lower cost per cycle. And just to finish, I would like to share with you a phrase from the great Mario Andretti. Those of you who know me already know that the motor wall is my thing. So everything seems under control, you are not going fast enough. In a couple of words, sometimes to innovate, you have to be a little bit out of control. That's been all from my part. Thank you for your attention, and please don't hesitate to write me an email or any question you may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miguel, for giving us an approach to the future, but also what we are doing in the present. Okay, so let's move to the next part, the live panel with different questions we have been receiving during the session. The first one is a personal question for Carlos, because I think it's really important to talk about. How do you think our clients, Carlos, value the service given by our after-sales team? I mean, the fact that there is always someone available at the other side of the line.
Okay, so good question. So you were working at the after sales for some years, so you know that also, but most of the times customers are really grateful because, you know, they don't need to wait listening horrible music or something like that. They have always a response right away when they call to the 24/7 line, and we are always ready to help. We can connect to the machines through the phones, through the computer. So they most of the times are really grateful.
Okay. All right. So, question from the chat to Mike: how did your team become specialized in HPP machines? I mean, it's possible do a course?
Yeah, we've done several different techniques. One of them is we have had classroom training with experienced hyperbaric technicians on site. We have done hands-on training with some of our more experienced techs to our newer techs. There's a lot of different ways out there. And you had mentioned the portal in one of the presentations. That's another way to get some of the documents to know how to correct some of the issues on the machines.
Okay, thank you. Another question for you, Mike. In what manner did your preventive maintenance plan help you optimize everything in the plant?
Well, I would say at the beginning of opening the new facility, there was a lot of reactive maintenance and a lot of downtime on the machines. So as we implemented the preventative maintenance more into our production schedule, it just helped the machines to be up and more reliable throughout the week. So we can really count on having that availability to process our product.
Again, the poster from Carlos is quite representative of how important is preventive maintenance.
Exactly.
For sure. Thank you, Mike, again. Another question for you, Carlos. This time, what from the chat? What is the most frequent inquiry you are guys receiving?
Okay, the most frequent inquiry is in regards to the plug positions. We have 2 plugs in the machine that moves through a magnetic ruler. So sometimes you need to adjust the parameter for the position of the plugs. It's quite difficult because there are some systems involved in this inquiry, hydraulics, electrical parameters, but it's also one of the quickest to resolve. So it's just take like 2 minutes to resolve it, and that's it. We are working on that to prevent it not happening more in the machines, but we are not ready to yet.
I was going to say that I'm pretty sure the glasses that Miguel saw us in the presentation will make things easier for our customers, for sure.
Thank you, Carlos.
Maybe it's a good Christmas gift for Evolution, Miguel.
Right.
For sure.
All right, thank you, Carlos. Okay, another question, in this case for Miguel. For all the 4.0 technologies you are trying to apply on the different organization processes, could you please let us know which is the one you are putting more efforts at the moment?
Okay, well, during these days, it's true that we are focusing on the augmented reality because due to pandemic is giving us a great help. Well, with this that I commented in my presentation. So we are really focused on this project of HoloLens or HyperLens, as we call. But this is not the only project we are working right now. There's another very interesting project that we call, well, digital transformation of our manufacturing plant in Burgos. We are thinking on give a completely check of all the process, completely digital transformation, capturing, designing, and manufacturing and controlling all the values of our machines. And this will help not only for being a very, very good machines, but also for our customer, for the life of the machine itself.
Okay. Do you want to talk anything, Mike, about any 4.0 application that you are doing in your facilities, or any example maybe that you want to share with us?
Yeah, as far as our facility, that is definitely something we're working towards is taking this big data and what do we do with it? How do we make it part of our everyday life and drive change for us? I would say we're at the beginning of that journey. I mean, we do collect a lot of our information in Historian and go back and look at that. But I think the next level is really that automatic detection of trends, and those are things that we're looking at as a company.
Okay, very interesting, guys. Okay, so time's up, guys. Thank you very much again. It has been a pleasure to have you share your experience with us. All the questions that have been raised from the audience will be answered soon. And we can only tell you to continue learning and enjoying the contents of the HPP Innovation Week. Thank you guys for the time today, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.